I know it's been a few weeks since I last did a video. I just don't have the time. I am still going to do a tattoo video. I haven't forgotten. I just haven't had the time to film it. And I am getting 2 new tattoos in about a week's time. So I'm thinking of waiting until I've got them and then I can film it with the 2 new ones as well. So just be a bit patient with me. I will film it as soon as possible. It's just not been done yet. Also, my nail just broke off. Like, and I'm so sad. It literally just broke off. And now I have one nail that has come off, and yeah, I'm due to get some infills anyway, but I'm really sad. That's such like a first world problem, but yeah, anyway. So today I thought that I would do a book haul video because I have treated myself to some books. I have sold around 40-50 books in the past like month or so. So I thought I would treat myself to a few new ones. Also, apologies, I do have the fan on. I know you can hear it. I'm really sorry if that's annoying. I am just so warm and I can't not have the fan on right now. I did try and it wasn't good. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the books that I've bought. I also have a Amazon package, which I might actually, oh, ow. Do I open the package first or last? I don't know. So I'm gonna go through the books I bought and then I'm also gonna read the blurbs. When I have read the blurbs, I'm also going to give you my predicted rating for the book. Without further ado, is that how you say it? Without further ado? Without further, I always get really scared that I'm saying things wrong, like well-known sayings. Without further ado, I don't think that is how you say it. Is that how you say it? I am going to open my package and we are going to see if we can open it in one swift movement. That was satisfying. So the first book that I've got is a poetry book. It's called Rebuilding Scabs by L.Q. Murphy. It doesn't have a blurb as such, but it has a little introduction, so I'm just going to read the first 2 paragraphs. This book aims to remedy the scabs that strike the hearts of many people. I, the author, used the writings in this book as a form of therapy. Sorrow, regret, bad experiences, strange experiences, sad outcomes and dysfunctional lifestyle habits fractured my soul, so I wrote to find solace. There is a lot more to the introduction, but that's all I'm going to read. So I'm excited for this one. I sometimes find it hard to connect with poetry, but this one sounds really good. I am going to predict that I will give it 4 stars. The second book that I got is called The Mirror Man by Lars Kepler. You'll never see him coming. 5 years ago, Jenny Lind was abducted on her way home from school, but he's always watching. Now her lifeless body is found hanging in a playground, but there is no evidence and only one witness, a man who cannot remember what he saw. And if he chooses you, with Detective Junalina and the police scrambling to find a lead, another girl goes missing, and as they close in on the killer, they discover that the Mirror Man's crimes are more shocking than they ever could have imagined. There's nowhere to hide. Oh, sorry. Oh, I just read the red, so if you can see on the back, I just read the red bits, then the blue. It's blue, isn't it? Yeah. So I just read the red bit, blue, red bit, blue, but you're supposed to read the red bits all together and the blue bits all together. So the red bits say, you'll never see him coming, but he's always watching, and if he chooses you, there's nowhere to hide. I'm starting to try, oh gosh, the writing is tiny. Look how small that writing is. I am trying to branch out and read some more thrillers. Sometimes I just don't get on with thrillers a lot because I find a lot of the time they're really predictable. And sometimes I just find them a bit boring. But but I want to try more thrillers, so I have purchased this one. I think might end up giving this one 3 stars. Yeah, I think my prediction is that I will give this book 3 stars, but it might pleasantly surprise me. The next book I got is The Prophet and the Idiot by Jonas Jonasson. I really like Jonas Jonasson as a author, so this one, when I saw that he had this book out, I added it straight to my basket. Sweden, late summer of 2011. Self-taught astrophysicist Petra has calculated that the atmosphere will collapse on the 7th of September that year, around 2120 to be precise, bringing about the end of times. Armed with this terrible knowledge, I don't know why I said it like that. Armed with this terrible knowledge, Petra meets Jonah, a master chef, and Agnes, a widow of 75, who has made millions living a double life on social media as a young influencer. Together, the trio race through Europe as they plan to make the most out of the time that they have left in more ways than one. But of course, things rarely go to plan, even the end of the world. I am predicting this one will be... No, I'm not going to do betweens. I'm predicting this one will be a 5-star read. I read The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbs Out a Window and Disappears. Is that what it's called? I think it's called that. I read that one and I was obsessed with it. I loved that book. I've got his second book, and I do also have The Girl Who Saved the King of Sweden. Haven't read it yet, but I do have it. I love his writing style, and I really love the way that he tells stories. So I'm really excited for this one. The next book I got is A Room Called Earth. I won't lie, this one I kind of bought because it was really pretty. However, I was searching like disability representation in books, and the author is neurodiverse. A young woman gets ready to go to a party. She arrives, feels overwhelmed, leaves, and then returns. Minutely attuned to the people who come into her view and alternating between alienation and profound connection, she is hilarious, self-aware, sometimes acerbic, and always honest. And by the end of the night, she shows us something radical about love, loss, and the need to belong. Sorry, I do have dyslexia. I'm an avid reader. I have been reading since I could read. Like, since I learned to read, I've loved reading books. It's a skill that I've taught myself. However, I struggle massively with pronunciations. So there was one word in there, acerbic. Acerbic. I don't know what that is, I don't know what that means, and I don't know how to pronounce it. So I really do apologise if I butcher like any pronunciations of words. I don't do it to be ignorant or on purpose. I'm dyslexic. I'm really excited for this one. I am predicting this one will be a 5-star read. The next book that I got is a Maggie O'Farrell. Yeah, a Maggie O'Farrell book. The Marriage Portrait. I will not lie, I did buy this book based on the cover. It is so beautiful. And I have heard such amazing things about Maggie O'Farrell. I've never read one of her books. I think I own one. I've never read any of her work, but I have heard amazing things. In the winter of 1561, Lucrezia, Duchess of Ferrara, is taken on an unexpected visit to a country villa by her husband Alfonso. As they sit down to dinner, it occurs to her that their journey to this lonely place has a sinister purpose. He intends to kill her. The Marriage Portrait is a story of a singular woman who must battle for survival amidst the splendour and treachery of the Italian Renaissance. Wow. I think this one sounds brilliant. I'm predicting 5 stars. Straight away, 5-star prediction. I think this will be a really good read. The next book that I bought is another thriller, and this one actually sounds really good. I haven't read the blurb. I sometimes actually buy books without reading their blurb, so without reading what they're about, and those are sometimes the best books that I've ever read. They are also books that I never would usually go for if I had read it. So I haven't read the blurb for this one, but the front of it sounds really good. So it is called The Guilty Couple by C.L. Taylor. What would you do if your husband framed you for murder? 5 years ago, Olivia Sutherland was convicted of plotting to murder her husband. Now she's finally free. Olivia has 3 goals: repair her relationship with her daughter, clear her name, and bring down her husband, the man who framed her. Just how far is she willing to go to get what she wants, and how far will her husband go to stop her? Because his lies run deeper than Olivia could ever have imagined, and this time it's not her freedom that's in jeopardy, but her life. It sounds like a very good thriller. I hope it doesn't disappoint me. I'm gonna say it'll be a 4-star read, hopefully. I do get a bit cautious with thrillers because they do tend to disappoint me, but I am predicting this will be a 4-star read. I didn't really know anything about this book at all. All I knew is that people raved about it, and that is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. I wasn't really sure what it was about, and yesterday, whilst on FaceTime to my mother-in-law, I was reading the blurb to her, and I thought this book sounds incredible. I thought it was going to be a romance, but it's not. Chemist Elizabeth Zott is not your average woman. In fact, Elizabeth Zott would be the first to point out that there is no such thing. But it's early 1960s, and her all-male team at Hastings Research Institute take a very unscientific view of equality. Forced to resign, she reluctantly signs on as the host of a cooking show, Supper at 6. But her revolutionary approach to cooking, fueled by scientific and rational commentary, grabs the attention of a nation. And soon a legion of overlooked housewives find themselves daring to change the status quo, one molecule at a time. I'm very excited to read this one. I am predicting it to be 5 stars. And I understand now why everyone's raving about it. I then bought The Satsuma Complex. This one was more bought based on the title rather than the cover. I thought it sounded really interesting. Gary Thorne goes for a pint with a work acquaintance called Brendan. When Brendan leaves early, Gary meets a girl in the pub. He doesn't catch her name, but falls for her anyway. After she leaves suddenly, all Gary has to remember her by is the book she was reading, The Satsuma Complex. But when Brendan goes missing, Gary needs to track down the girl he now calls Satsuma to get some answers. And so begins a quest through the streets of South London to finally bring some love and excitement into an unremarkable life. Sorry, there's a noise outside and I just glanced there. I think this one will be really interesting. I don't actually know how much I will enjoy it. So I am predicting 3 stars for this one. I think I will enjoy it, but I don't think it will be one that will wow me. Love that noise. We then have How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney. Jamie O'Neill loves the colour red. He also loves tall trees, patterns, rain that comes with wind, the curvature of many objects, books with dust jackets, cats, rivers, and Edgar Allan Poe. At age 13, there are 2 things he especially wants in life: to build a perpetual motion machine and to connect with his mother, Noelle, who died when he was born. In his mind, these things are intimately linked, and at his new school, where all else is disorientating and overwhelming, he finds 2 people who might just be able to help him. How to Build a Boat is the story of how one boy's dream transforms the lives of his teachers Tess and Tahag. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name or his name. And brings together a community. Written with tenderness and verve, it's about love, family and connection, and the power of imagination, and how our greatest adventures never happen alone. Again, this one I think will be a 5-star. I think this book is going to break my heart. It just sounds brilliant. This book has been raved about on so many social spaces, BookTok, Bookstagram, and I am very excited to read it. Very nervous as well. It's a big series. I only bought the first book because I don't want to buy a series if I haven't at least read the first book, because what if I don't like the first one and then I've bought the whole series? So I bought the first book, and then if I like it I might buy the series, and it is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So many people love this book. So many people love the ACOTAR series. I'm very nervous but excited to start my ACOTAR journey. The skin of a wolf would bring enough... Can't speak. The skin of a wolf would bring enough gold to feed her sisters for a month, but the life of a magical creature comes at a steep price, and Feyre, I don't know, has just killed the wrong wolf. Taken prisoner by a high Fey lord, Feyre learns that her masked captor is hiding even more than his piercing gaze suggests. But as Feyre's feelings for Tamlin begin to burn through every warning she's heard about his kind, a shadow is falling across the land. And if Feyre cannot fight it, she will lose everything. Can someone please correct me on the pronunciation of that name? I don't know how to pronounce that name at all. When it comes to fantasies, I really suck at knowing how to pronounce the names and the places and some of the like animals. I suck. I don't suck. I'm dyslexic, but I suck. I am predicting this will be a 4-star read. I don't quite think it'll be 5, mainly because I don't think it'll live up to other fantasies that I love so much, but I am excited. I do think it will be good, just not blow my mind good. I then bought How to Kill Men and Get Away With It by Katie Brent. My friend actually recommended this book. She has read it, said it was really good, so I bought it. Meet Kitty Collins, friend, lover, killer. He was following me, the guy from the nightclub who wouldn't leave me alone. I hadn't intended to kill him, of course, but I wasn't sorry when I did, and despite the mess I made, I appeared to get away with it. That's where my addiction started. I've got a taste for revenge, and quite frankly, I'm killing it. I think this will be a 5-star read. It gives me How to Kill Your Family and what's that movie? Promising Young Women. It gives me like a meet in the middle of those two. It gives me those vibes. I'm predicting 5 stars. This book is more of a fun book, just a fun chill vibe. It is called The Secret Life of an Uncool Mum. She used to want it all, now she just wants to nap. Tara Gallagher is knackered. She used to dream of being Beyonce, but suddenly she's 36 and instead of headlining Glastonbury, she is in her pyjamas on Friday night watching Gogglebox. I think that sounds like a brilliant night, to be honest. It's time for a mammy makeover. She's going to show her teenage daughter she's still cool, show her husband she's still an absolute ride, and show her colleagues she's still a boss bish. But most of all, she's going to prove to herself that she can still be a mum, still work full-time, and still be Beyonce. A hilarious warts and all novel about modern motherhood and how having it all sometimes isn't what you think it might be. I think this will be a 4-star. But I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be cute. I think I don't know. I just think it's going to fill me up with warmth. but also make me laugh out loud. And finally, we have come to the last book, which is actually 5 books. It is a series. So I went to Costco yesterday for the first time ever. I did not know they do books in Costco. They actually had the full ACOTAR series for like a tenner. Insane. But I want to read the first one before I decide to make that commitment. But what I did find, and what I have read the first book of, is the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief series. Ow. The Percy Jackson series. And I absolutely adored the first one. I thought it was really good. I think I gave it like 4 stars maybe. I just really liked it. And it was actually my first ever fantasy read as an adult. I read a few fantasies when I was younger, and then I kind of stopped, and I then thought fantasy just wasn't for me. I was kind of a bit of a snob. I was like, oh, what do I want to read fantasy for? I felt like it was for children. Boy, was I wrong. I adore fantasy. It makes me so excited. And Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief was the first fantasy book I read as an adult that got me back into reading fantasy. So I saw these for £9.29 and had to buy them. Like, they were right in my basket. I'm really excited to read them. I predict maybe like a mixture of 3 and 4 stars. I don't think any of them will be a 5-star read, but yeah, I do think there'll be a mixture between 3 and 4 stars. So those are the books that I bought recently, my little book haul. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I would love to know if any of you have read any of these books. I would also love to know if any of you are now planning to read these books. I'd love to know what ratings you gave them if you have read them. Yeah, just let me know in the comments, like, your bookish thoughts. I love talking books. It's one of my special interests. I love reading. I love books. Love talking about it. So I'm always up for conversations about books. You can message me anywhere on Instagram, Twitter. I just love talking about books. So yes, if you would like, oh no, they're all starting to fall. Yeah, ow, I scratched my face then. So yeah, I will end this video here because it has been 38 minutes so far. I will edit it down, but it will probably be a 20-minute video. Sorry about that. I will speak to you soon. I will see you soon. I will see you soon. Bye!